Hey guys, this is Constance with Charming Custom Crafts here on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I have everything but one thing ready and I'm digging for it. So for those who are following me, this is a series 1 through 7 for the next Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be going live here on YouTube, teaching those cards for those who have never made cards before, or for those who want to do a simple quick card. Right now I'm looking for a stamp, just a basic stamp that you guys can sort of buy anywhere. That's why I'm looking. So I have tons of stamps, and if you guys know me on the channel here, you know I'm not joking. So I probably have, I don't know, 20 boxes of stamps, and I've gotten rid of a lot. So if you don't mind me for a second, I have everything else ready. It's just this one thing of looking for a basic Christmas stamp. Aha, I found them. Just gotta dig them out. And pardon me if dogs bark. They're brats. I found a bunch of them. So I'm going to look at some very basic stamps. You know what? This is a pretty simple one. And it's not an acrylic one. Something you can pick up. And it'll be a lot easier for me to share it. Okay. So for those that are following me on Facebook, here, YouTube, and Instagram, you guys are going to enjoy this. For those who have never made cards, maybe this will pique your interest. These are really, really simple cards. I'm going to try to adjust this a little bit. Some of you may not be following me until you get off work. And I look like crap, so you guys know that. I'm trying to get this out of the way. So, okay, so this one, these couple ones, and I don't know how many I'm going to do. So I'm going to be doing some with buttons and ribbon and scrap paper. Now my scraps, you guys can go and get very simple paper from Joann's, Michael's, even if you wanted to print some off in the design that you want. If you're using photo paper, please be careful. If you don't have a cutting board, that's fine. If you work up at your local school, they always have one. And I know that from being PTO and PTA president, vice president, and Ways and Means. I used to do the bulletin boards and everything else. So I'm going to go with a simple cardstock. This is something you could buy at Walmart. Matter of fact, I actually buy my white cardstock at Walmart. There are a few people who prefer other, but me, I have found it doesn't really matter. I'm also going to get craft paper. If you don't know what craft paper is shipping paper and or paper bags, which I wish that they would go back to a lot more, and do a recycling bin setup for that. We're going to go with this. So this is what we're going to start with. Some of these of you have seen, so I'm going to make them very easy. Let me grab my envelopes so that you guys can see the sizing for cards. That one's a little big. These, I think, are pretty simple to buy. The 4.5 by 6.5. That's going to determine. I also have standard envelopes. That's going to determine your cards. I'm also going to use long ones if I can find them. I have envelopes on my yin yang. I'm trying to figure out where I put them all. My mother sends them to me. I don't want to bring up anything that you guys can't standardly buy in a store. And I'm going to get into doing tags too. If you can find, and those are easy. Now, those who make cards know that it's really not that hard. David Tutorial, he has a bunch of stuff out. And I'm just looking at standard cards. I'm not going to get into different cards that you can't find in envelopes. So I'm just going to use these. I don't know where the rest of them are. They're floating around. I'm still trying to somewhat organize this room at the same time. I just made a mess because I made a layout. Which you're going to, I will share later with you. Okay, so these are the ones you can standardly buy at the store. These are 4 3/4 by 6 1/2. Now they could fit if you want to fit them, or you can go a little bit smaller, especially if you go a little bit more three-dimensional. And I think I'll probably just use the yellows, because the other ones, at least for now, we're going to pull those out later. But that's going to be an easy way for you to pick your card size. You can also use letter size. I know I have some somewhere. I'm telling you, I have so many envelopes, it's not even funny. So since we're going to go by that, now I have a cutting board. If you do not have a cutting board, be sure that you use a ruler and a pencil, something you can erase. If you're wondering what this is the perfect ruler. So, legitimately has rubber grip on it down at the bottom. And I actually suggest it for anybody at home with kids. So we're just going to start with that. And a lot of these you guys have seen, and they're a little bit more fun to do with children. Unfortunately, my kids are a lot bigger. They are a lot bigger now, so we're going to start with one of the easy ones. We're going to do a couple of them in a different style for each one. And I purposely got it out. If you have paint, I am pulling out the brown, the black, and the white. Keeping it simple, I could use red. But I'm going to use something different. But since the envelope is 4 3/4 by 6 1/2, and this paper is 8 1/2 by 11, so you know that that is just going to be right on the dot. And we don't want to make it that big. See if you see it, it's going to be exactly that. Now you can, but the nicest thing about this is I would actually always go an inch shorter. So you're only going to need 10 inches. So I'm going to cut off I'm going to make sure I get this in line. I'm just going to cut off 8 1/2 by 11. Okay, I'm going to cut off a full inch. So if you guys want to follow along and maybe make together, start looking at basic supplies. If you guys have a specific card you'd like to learn or watch me do, please don't hesitate. I'm going to get a little more complicated as we go. So now that we have, it is no longer 11 inches, it is now 10 inches. And for you to go 4 3/4. Now I prefer to just do 8 inches, so I'm just going to cut off, make sure it's done right here. Now this is when I have to flip my board over. Now that's mine. Pull my iPad out of the way. I was racing to get some stuff done. And if you hear me drink, my apologies. I've been running around making layouts, and I have not pulled out lunch, and my husband gets home at 1:30. I may make him buy pizza. It's hump day anyway. Today is my Thursday. My husband works Sunday through Thursday. I don't want to put my hands on this wet. So this is just basic craft paper. If you watch Michaels does a better deal on 8 1/2 by 11 when it comes to colored paper. I'd wait until they're $2 a piece, or that 5 for 10. Okay, since I am not doing, and again, I went down an inch. I'm going to do a 4 by 5 card, so it's pretty simple. So if I'm doing 4 by 5, I need to go to 8 inches. And just cut off a little bit of 8 inches. And when we fold this in half, I think I'm right. I'm wrong. I did a little too skinny, or a little too fat. 8 1/2 by 4. Oh, I still need to use that measurement. Hello. We're going to go, what did I say, 8 1/2. We're going to do 4. That still looks kind of skinny. All right. Don't mind me. When in doubt, use the box. I know I was right. It's a little skinny though. I don't care for that. But for purposes, oh, I know what I'm doing. All right. Don't mind me. I'm not half awake here today. That is the width. And this is 8. I'm thinking, I don't know why I'm thinking like this. I had it all laid out the way I wanted it. So I'm wrong. I can do it long ways. Alright, don't mind me. I want to keep them long. Go ahead and yell at me, ladies. I know I'm thinking, so you know what? I'm going to make it easier. I'm going to come back to this. I'm just going to fold it in half. And if you don't have a bone folder, this way it's a lot easier, especially for those who have never done them. If you don't have a bone folder, use a popsicle stick. This is stuff that if you have little kids, you have it around your house. So don't mind me. I'm having a brain fart. I make cards all the time. So I could use my scoreboard. If you have a scoreboard, ladies and gents, feel free to use it for the purposes of teaching those who have never made cards. Now always start at the middle and use the popsicle stick if you have it and just crease down. This is a bone folder. It can actually come in bone or plastic. So now that I'm an idiot, and for those who are learning anyway, so I'm going to trim it down just a hair on each side. So it's going to be, and my apologies, we're going to go 4.5. I was totally off. 4.5. I'm an idiot. Great way to start off, right? So if it is 6 inches, I'm going to go 6. Let's go 5.5. Make it, nope, 6. It'll be a little longer. We're going to go 6 so it still fits in the envelope. I'm going to flip the sides because I don't like that side. Okay. So we're going to keep going on all of these. You can make as many of these as you want to start. So now you can see if I pull out an envelope, it's a little bit smaller. And sometimes when I'm hurrying doing cards, I do this. Otherwise, I have to think of a lot of geometry and division. So you could see that it's going to fit inside the envelope easily. I tend to do a lot of my cards three-dimensional, and you'll see that when I make cards. And it's kind of hard for me. I actually do not mind spending the extra money, and that is because when I make a card, it's usually for somebody special, and I do sell them as well. This is going to be easy. Now, if you have a hair dryer, have it by you. I actually have a heat gun, and I'm not talking a garage heat gun because those will seriously burn you. Not that this won't. This is a heat gun. You can buy them for about 20 bucks so that you guys can see them. This is an older model, but I like it better than the skinnier one. And my cords are all tangled. You guys got to understand, when I pulled everything down for Irma, I started to get everything back. And then Halloween, I was going crazy because I used my garage door for a bulletin board. So you guys know that these are really easy to do, and it's perfect for the whole family to get in on. So I'm going to show you very quickly how to make this one. But you could add some buttons too if you have the chance. I have all these laid out to do. I'm scrolling down the ones that I was planning on doing, and I gotta find them. I have a whole bunch of them. Where you at? I seriously had all these laid out. And some of them are so easy. Now, you guys can do different body parts, especially with a new baby. I have the perfect one. Here it is. And this is a little bit different than normal, and I didn't even bring, I'll have to use my leg, I didn't bring a napkin. You know what? I think I might have, I use Cottonelle wipes better than baby wipes, but that's because I don't have diaper bags anymore. My husband bought them because they were on sale. I was like, I'm not a baby. So these are the things that you're going to have, and very simple stuff. And I have people that are coming in and out of the room. I felt like such an idiot there. Now I'm just going to shake it. You definitely want to shake it. And again, these are great for the whole family. There are different ways to do this. I'm going to do this one. No, I'm not going to use brown. I'm going to use white. And I'm going to do different ways. I'm going to do this one different. Now, everybody can do this in the family. I haven't painted in a while. I'm going to be painting my nativity scene in the Aya gave me a long time ago. Okay. Everybody can make these. If you got a standard paintbrush, you can do this, or use your fingers. A drawer full of paintbrushes. I don't paint as much as I used to. I'm going to shake it up. I don't squeeze it out, and I'm going to tell you why. I mean, you can, but it can get the nozzle dirty. I actually use the lid, so I only use what I need as I go. I can always put the lid back on. Now, again, these are really easy. I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of this basic stuff around the house. Now, there's 4 of us, so I'm going to put 4 of us on here. I'm going to do snowmen. Now you're going to see me use the dryer a little bit and then stick it over and move on to another card. Again, there are 4 of us, even though my daughter is no longer here. And then, oh, my kids are taller than me now. Just a little bit more. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to see if I can put little animals in here, because we have quite a few of them. If you guys know that. We're going to do, you guys can see how I'm just kind of doing that. That could be my cats. And then I'm going to put 1 up here, and then 1 over here. That would be my husband, because Roxy won't leave him alone. She is daddy's girl. So you guys could do these in different ways, but this one's really simple. This puts my entire family on it. It's a little more than what most people are used to doing. You can do fingerprints, so we'll get to some of those. I'm gonna, I'm gonna use the end of the tip of the brush. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of big ones, because I'm going to go in and do some other things. And this one's a little more fancy than what I might be showing you today. I'm going to go with meals being delivered on the other side of the street. Mommy's not getting meal, girls. And I'm going to go back in because I want to put a little bit of snow at the bottom. And I want to keep it simple. So you don't have to solidify it because the snow is drifting. You guys follow me, you know I love to paint. Simple, and you can fly these out the door and sit them over to dry and do some more cards. Now I could go simpler, and you guys can easily do those, especially since the kids do a lot of that. No, I thought I had some. I have some glue water. Not what I want, but keeps my brush from going wet or dry. So you know what? Go figure. Again, I don't have my glass of water. I'm not always prepared, as much as I think I am. Now, I'm still going to go in. That's why I was wiping it off. I'm going to do the top again, or the base of the brush again. Wasn't very smart. This is my Mod Podge water because I've got my other mannequin head to do. Again, that's not ideal. Obviously, you want water. By the way, if you're ever doing brushes, always make sure when you store them are this way or flat. And we're going to spackle on a little bit just so that it gives it a little more snowy. Now, again, you guys can go a little simpler, a little fancier. I'm just putting a little bit on with a little glue, and I'm going to spackle it. This gives you more of an effect here of different layers. I'm going to go a little bit more water, or glue water. It doesn't matter, please use. It's just what I had in the room. Now imagine doing them in an assembly line. Now these are cute. Now the inside's going to be easy. You can just stamp something simple. Now again, you want to use water, but I have glue water, and then I'm going to put it in here. Clean off the part of the brush. And I'm going to stick it in that to keep it wet. stick that over because we might come back to it. So I'm going to actually let that, you can let it dry. I'm going to use the heat gun so that we can keep going on cards. How many I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to do the next 7 weeks every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to dry this a little faster. If you guys want to see it, it'll dry a little faster. I usually take it away from the table because I can burn myself or something around me. And trust me, I used to have glass on my one table and I ended up cracking it. I have a lot of different videos teaching, and I did get a request to teach a big poinsettia flower and do a centerpiece. And since my daughter moved to California, I have something I originally bought for something else. So I'm going to actually use that. Now the mail lady's going to crash my mailbox. Super easy. Now, if you only have white, you could do so many projects. Black paint, white paint, red paint, and brown paint, I always recommend. The primary, you can always make secondary and tricolors with all of those depending on the shade. Matter of fact, that's how I started off, and then I had a ceramic shop. It's about fully dry, almost. Again, you can use a hairdryer or you can just set them over. And if you don't have animals, you don't have to use them. And if you do the other side, it'll dry better too. So we're going to go with, if I can find it. And a lot of you guys may not have a lot of stuff. This is why I tell you to go and use stuff that you might have in your house. And then we're going to put little boots. Nothing fancy. Just something simple. You can be little dots. Or you can make them a little more fancier if you want. Just gonna put legs on the animals. I might put collars on them just to make sure you guys know what they are. I probably should put a tail on, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. So again, you can go in. You can use a pen. Just be simple about it. And the girls, I can make a little fancier, of course. Unless you have boys. Yeah, I don't know how wet this is getting. Okay, I might have another one. So, dots. Doing 3 dots for the guys. 2 dots for the girls. Super easy. Now, if you have gel pens, and you can buy a bunch of easy gel pens, and this is why I did not do the tails. I gotta make sure it works. If not, I gotta pull my others. Scrap paper. Alright, well, that one's not being very nice. Where'd I put my... You know, I purposely got those out. Chalk markers work. If I can find it. I always have a bunch of these things floating around. I use them all the time. I don't know if this will work. I prefer to use a white. Oh, I got another white gel. Okay, so I got a little white gel pen. And then I'm going to put a short tail on for the girls. Don't go too fancy. Put little ears. And this is why you don't want to go for the ones that don't have long ears. You got to be careful with using a brush unless you go tinier. And then there's my boys. And then Justin's got a little tail. I didn't put their legs on because I'm going to use white on them. So I got it very simple there. And you can have markers. If you have markers, please use them, or colored pencils. I'd like to show you guys how to do, you can use Prismacolor or Copic if you want. If you, and just do a little nose. Do the girls this way. The opposite. It's super, super duper simple. I didn't do the eyes yet, did I? I didn't want to do, that's gray, I need black. Again, you can use simple Sharpie markers. You could easily, I have a bunch of markers here and it's hard. I gotta look for it. I have like 200 and some Prismacolor. I'm looking for black. I think that's clear. I think so. I found it. Thin side. Yep, that side. Do a little eyes. Very quickly. And do a little nose. Nose. See if I can do some whiskers, because right now they look like they look like rats. I have to do black. Let's do little black ones. And you can use a pen for this part if I can find a black pen. Again, this is stuff you can use around the house. Alright. So we're going to go a little bit of whiskeries. And I'm going to use these for cards for Christmas, so I don't do too many for them. Well, my dogs obviously come in different colors. Now, to make them a little more, at least the females, a little more girly at the same time, this is where you can get a little more inventive. Different colors. So I'm going to do a simple little scarf. And then I'm going to do a different color for my son. Let's go, it's a spring green. It was a light leaf green. I'm going to do a little different for him. So let's go with maybe purple for Mom. Put her swinging the other way, and then I'm going to put a little flower up here. Just nothing fancy. You don't want to go fancy, just not worth it. And then my daughter really likes pink, so let's see if I can find the appropriate pink. So I'm going to make hers go the other way. I'm going to put a little flower up here. A little distinguished. I might put a little bit of glitter on this. And I took something that was a little more fancy. Let's go with the nose if I need to put a little nose on the girls. Almost forgot about that. Let's go a little bit in the ears. Because I don't have to do always the super simple fingerprints, but I will show how to do those as well. I think I'm missing stick fingers, or sticks, aren't we? We're missing sticks. So find a brown. Oh, that was too wide. I don't want to use a wide tip. I want to use the thin tip. That fell. My floor is a mess. I had it cleaned up. I ended up thin tip, because I have thin, typical marker tip, wide, and then brush. And just do simple. I'm going to do colors on the girls. Just get a little more fancy, darling. A little more fun. You know what? I haven't used red yet. Let's put red collars on all of them. I actually have a tabby cat. The dogs need collars. I forgot to do the nose and stuff on Roxy. Roxy's a brat. And I will be using these, by the way, for for Christmas. Everything that I make. So for those who are following me, I only send cards to go a little bit fancy. So to me, that card is, I think, done. But if you want to go a little bit more, this is what I would suggest. Now, I use 2 different kinds of super pretty glitter glue. Most of what you will find on the market, even Walmart, they will have Studio G. I use different kinds. I love this stuff. So if you were to put like a little dot in up here, I'm going to try to do 100 cards between now and Christmas. Some will be easier. Now I have a couple ones that'll be easier than this. I just didn't want to start out with, this is a hairpin. I always keep them around for glue. Put a little bit up here for the mama. And then I'm going to go through and do a little bit extra here so it sparkles more. Now I can get into showing you snowdrifts. I mean, I can put in a moon, but I'm going to turn and I'm going to take a scrap paper and put a little bit on here and make it a little more fancier. I mean, like I said, some you might feel insulting with, but at the same time, I want you to be able to teach your children or have them sit and want to do these videos. Now, I'm going to go and just put a little bit like the snow is glistening from the wind blowing and the moon. And if you want, maybe we'll throw in a moon up at the top real quick. So that one to me is pretty much done, but we'll go ahead and throw a moon up at the top for you guys to see. Hopefully it'll show. Yellow is a little bit harder. And then, of course, you can use glitter glue on it. And I do have a yellow glitter glue. I don't like that. I want it more curly. A little more curved. Let me see what else I have. I don't know what that was. Let me pull up my, see if I have yellow or gold. And I'm pretty sure I have gold. I found yellow. Is that yellow? This was liquid pearls. I'm trying to keep some more simpler stuff for those who don't have a bunch of supplies. And I had gold right next to me. Let's see if it'll go right off the bat. Like I said, I didn't want to go so simple on you on the first time. This is just a super simple one that you can do easily at home with your basic stuff. Here. That'll totally highlight your moon. So that to me is a super simple family one that even the kids could enjoy. And then that card for me is completed. So I do hope you like that one. So I'm going to sit that one over to dry. Hopefully I can put it in a place that Mickey and Justin will stay away from, because they could be stinkers. And they were doing that the other day when I was making scrap cards. And you'll see me make scrap cards for my scraps, obviously. So that card will easily go in this, because that yellow on the moon, and it doesn't really matter. The envelope doesn't. If you have cards that you had and then you hated them and just kept the envelopes, then you're going to use that. So we're going to use white card next. And we're going to do the same thing. See if I get this right the first time now. Let's see if I can go 4. It's 4, right? Let's do 4 1/4. I'm trying to stay a little more to where you guys can easily make this at home. 6. I remember. I'm remembering. Okay, 6. Quick. Again, use a pair of scissors after drawing a line if you're using a super easy. Now, if they come out to different sizes, with a ruler. Again, middle, use a popsicle stick if you don't have a bone folder. Now, sometimes I make cards that don't even fit into an envelope, but that's okay because I send presents. And if you're given a present, you can also attach them to a gift. I'm just going to crease it a little better. Okay, so this one, obviously, you guys should know this one pretty easy. Again, I'm going to make it a little more fancier because of the fact that I think you guys can handle it. So you're going to probably think it's silly. At the same time, I'm going to use brown, any shade of brown that you want. I'm going to flip this way because we'll come back to the other side of that. And again, I don't always take it off. I always use the lid, especially when I did ceramics. And again, you're going to see me do quite a bit of that this year. I haven't painted in a while and it's kind of driving me crazy. Now see, I'm just going to splatter some of that down here. This is why I say you don't always need a paintbrush, but you can always use the cheapies too. I do suggest that you invest into it a little. You're going to put your thumb in. We're doing thumb first. And then I got to make sure that I use another piece of scrap. Not that piece. I guess I can use this. Okay, so test it out first. And then we're going to do one. And this is where the family can get involved in this. And then I'm going to turn it this way. And we're going to do one here. Maybe go back in and do a little bit more. You got to be a little careful when you go back in. Okay. And then we're going to do another two. Just watch the direction that you're doing it. Get all of your thumb in it. And we're going to do this way. And if you get a little thicker, it's okay. I'm going to turn and send it this way. And then if you want, you can do a little character down here. And let me see, let me use my pinky. In case there's like an extra child to do this. And then we're going to go back in and, you know, for the top ones, we're going to do the same thing. Trying to use a smaller finger. I'm going to use forefinger. You want to use a smaller finger for the next one. And we're going to go upward. This way. Let's see. Depends on how you want it. So, I'm having a problem with that. Do this one. Your fingerprints will probably come out better. I'm losing paint. But you don't have to have a lot, as you guys are seeing. Like say you have 5 kids. Again, it's not going to really matter to me. I see you got 2 kids. I'm going to put this over. Get me another wipe and wipe my fingers because I don't want to smear it. You guys got to get the concept of what this is, but this is a different way of doing them. So let me wipe my hands a little bit. This one you're going to need a little red. Use a little red marker and you can use a black Sharpie or black marker. And I think you guys can get what I'm looking at on this one. It's pretty simple. You could always, these are the ones you don't have to have a phrase on. And you guys, I just want to make sure that I don't have anything wet on my fingers. If it's dry, I don't care. I already have glue up and down my legs because I forgot something this morning. Okay, so if I can find a black pen, where did I put it? Use a black pen. These are fun. So we're going to go down, and we're going to go down, and a little more, and you're going to see a little one over here. We're going to do the same thing here. Length is up to you, of course. You're going to need a brown marker or use that brown paint again. Again, you can use a marker for these. It's just make them simpler. So we're going to go in and do the antlers, and I'm going to show you how else we're going to do this. We're going to put in just a little bit of stem. I'm going to go back to all of these in a minute. Shift it around. I'll just do 2 on this one. And then over here, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you don't have to go thick. One, two, 1, 2, then 1, 2, and 1. Now, when you go back in, you want to make sure you get a little feet action in here. That way it looks better. You can mind where it's going, or you don't really care. It's alright. Like what direction. Go ahead and just do a little dab. These, like I said, you can do a whole lot of these, or you can have the kids do that part, and then you can do the other. And then you're not gonna touch these here. You can put in a little detail here, a little bit more here on some of them. And then you're going to do a little line, what you can see, for the neck. And you're going to do one little eye on each one. Super easy. Because if you're doing fingerprints, and you do it the way I just showed you, you won't have to worry about it drying, because it's going to dry pretty quick. Now, it's up to you on which one that you want to be Rudolph. I'm going to make this a little bigger and more of a half. Super easy. Okay, so we're going to make that one Rudolph, okay? And let me see. I know I got a red. I just had a red marker. I'm just going to go in. That one needs more ink. I need to fill that one up. Go in and do the red. If you want to get fancier, of course, you can do a little bit more of what you want. But that's a pretty simple card. So to me, oh, we forgot a neck on the baby. To me, that's a pretty quick one. Though, if you want to add in the tail, we can add on a little bit of a tail if you want. So it looks a little bit better. If you don't want to and the kids get a little crabby, it's okay. I have lots of brushes here. So we're just going to take a little bit from the lid, and we're going to go up a little bit. Not a lot, because they don't have very big tails. Now that's up to you. Let me wipe that off. I'm not going to use water for that. I just used a very little bit here. And you can go in, and this can be a little more detailed. You're going to scrape into it to soften it. And that softens it like it has like a light on it. Now you can leave it as that. You can have a little bit more fun with that. But to me, that one is done. Super, super easy. That is that one. So a lot of you guys know how to do them. That's just another way of using the fingerprint. So now I have 2 cards done. And now I'm going to get to a little more cutting. And we can go into details on that in a little bit. So I'm doing more. I'm going to try to get as many cards in as I possibly can. Now if you find, and I'm going to do a 5x7. If I can find the paper 5x7. So I'm going to cut this card 5x7. There are envelopes for it. You can go looking for them. 5x7. I need to cut length this way. Okay, I'm going to use white. Again, here's the 5 up here. And again, use a pencil. Now, you can do any color on this. I'm thinking I'm going to go 7 this way. I want it more longer. Oh, wider. Longer, not wider. Okay. Now, these won't fit in these particular envelopes. 5 is 10, so we're going to cut off an inch. It is 8.5 by 11, so I'm just going to cut off an inch. You can do it the other way, but I can tell you if you're using a basic cutter, that is so much easier. And again, you can use a bone folder or popsicle sticks or a scoreboard. It depends on what you want. And I'm going to get a little fancier on some of these because I know that you ladies and gents can do these. And gents, if you're out there, let me tell you something. Surprise your wife and do a project with the kids. And I could show you how to do that with a popsicle stick if I can find my popsicle stick, because I always keep them around. Now I'm going to do a little more fancier for you guys, for those who are going, okay. I'm going to do, where's my scraps? I'm going to do some other ones here. I have buttons. I have lots of buttons. I have lots of scrap paper. But I'm looking at some stuff. Maybe it'll be easier to find at maybe Joann's or stuff. So because of the card is a 5.5 by 7, we're going to do a base to it. And you always go down 1/2 inch because it'll give you 1/4 inch around it. And then again, if you want a nice creased edge. And I don't like that edging on it, so I'm going to trim it down. So I'll make sure it's even. I've been doing this so long I can eyeball it. So I'm going to go flip this around. So I know it's 5.5 by 7. I'm going to go 4.5. Wait, 4.5. 4.5. 4.5. That'll give a 1/4 inch all the way around. And then I need to flip it back out since it's 4.5 or 5 by 7. It's 4.5 by 6.5. And I'm doing snowflake. This is my scraps from either last year or the last couple of years. I save all my holiday stuff because I actually reuse them. So you're going to get, I need a little slimmer. Did I get it at 4.5? Maybe I didn't. Okay. So there we go. So there's your base. Now if you don't have an ATG gun, you can get the little snails. I actually recommend, if you have the money, to get the cheaper one. I actually have a Scotch ATG gun when they were a lot cheaper, and I'd say use coupons. You can use glue. Stick glue is what I recommend, only because it's easier. Or you can buy one of those glues that have the rubber tips, and I don't have mine out right now, that you can always refill as well. So this is going to be my backing. So I'm trying to make this pretty easy. Just going a little bit more simpler. A little more fun. And simple card. And we're going to, where's my white? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this one piece at, I think I had it at 4.5. And it's okay, because you guys are going to see what I'm going to do. Super, super fun. See, now it should be the width. Time to stand. I got a new watch. So I'm going to actually, this is how you can make snowdrifts. You just have a little fun tearing, and the kids can have a little fun doing it. And if you want to put a couple other dimensions to it, like multiples, just tear it. Because you can see the drifting part here. We're going to use this for the front yet. So you're going to see that. I'm going to do another spot. Now this is already tore on this side to where you can see that. Because these are going to be the back pieces. So these are going to go on first. You guys are going to see what I'm doing here in a minute, okay? So I'm going to tape this piece here. Make sure that I know what I'm doing. Now if you have pop dots or Scotch tape, I'm trying to figure out which way. Okay, so I'm going to use my tape gun only because it's easier for me, especially on time-wise. I'm going to try to do videos for as fast as I can. My goal is to hit 100 videos. And I might trim that piece down a little bit more. This is eyeballing it. So it doesn't matter if it's a little thin. And again, I'm just going to put that in there. This is something that, you know, super easy to do. I'm going to go ahead and trim off a little bit extra. And if it's off a little bit, it's okay because this is a snowdrift. a little bit more in there. So I do a little filler. And this is fun. I like just doing stuff like this because it's no real thinking on designing. Super duper easy. And I'm gonna stick that in there. My earpiece is coming out here. So easy, easy, easy. So you guys got snowbank there. Super easy to do. I don't know who's following me. I don't know if you're leaving me messages. I can't see them when I'm working, so I'm going to go in and level this off at the bottom. So we got that. And I'm going to put a little in here. Again, it just depends on what you're doing. And I know I have my little glue here. You can always go in and fill it. Just a quick little Elmer's glue. Flip it over because I want it kind of the torn side. Super easy to pull together. So that's that part. And then I'm going to look for white beads. Where's my, yeah, there they are. I'm going to go in and pull my white, or not beads, buttons out. And I have containers after containers, guys, so we're going to look for snowy white. There's two. I went a little bit bigger than that one. There's one, so if we make them even, I think it's a 4. Okay, so the idea is to find bigger ones or smaller. Now if I can find a match. That's a 4. Because you want the one with 2 at the top because of the eyeballs. So you guys can see that. And this is what we're going to do. Super easy. We're going to glue in some snowmen. So I'm going to use... I don't suggest, if you use hot glue, you can use hot glue. I'm going to put it down here. I use E6000, which please be careful because you can get actually cancer from it. I used to laugh about it at Joann's because I don't think they really cared about the dangers of them. I'm just going to glue them in. And I'm going to put one here. This is like a cute little love couple. But you have to find glossy accents works. Now this is going to have to be a little careful on how you get that in because you want them looking like eyeballs. So you may have to shift them. So I kind of like that. We're going to be a little simpler on some of this stuff. I do have ribbon here. I'm looking for something I think will work. I pulled out some other stuff. Where's it at? I'm going to do a little Christmas. This is twine. And I'm going to pull orange and, not orange, red and green out. Just so it's a little more festive. Now, I totally suck at bows. I'm not even going to tell you that. I mean, you'll see I suck at bows. So, some of you may be a lot better than me. I guarantee you most of you will be. So, you're going to want to do a really, really tiny pull. Now, this is one of those ones that's going to have to take a little while to dry once you get it done. Now, I'm going to do one bow, and then I'm going to do one straight. So one's a guy, one's a girl. And again, if it's 2 girls or 2 guys, it's okay. You just do however you want. By all means. You want to go super tiny, as far as you can go. Pull this one out. Keep pulling until you get what you want. get in there. Now don't pull too tight because it's going to get a lot harder to cut off or tie down. If you tear it too much, it's not going to work. So I'm going to pull that off. My glue on it's not being very nice. It's that gold glue. So pull that a little tighter. I was using these for Halloween. These were my super sharp ones. Or they need sharpened. So we're going to have one little ribbon here like that. And then we're just going to do a zip back, basically. Like a tie back. Where it's just like over that way. Now I'm going to wait to do this until last because they have to dry. Now, I had told you I was going to use glitter glue. I'm a big fan of glitter glue. And I have my glitter glue here, so I'm going to stick that right there. And again, this is where you can use a Sharpie marker. You can go in and do a hat. You can use paper, depending on what you want to do. And then I'm going to do probably a little more fancier, or like a baseball hat kind of thing on this one. And you can do a little mark around the eye if you want. You know what to do. You can do the 2 buttons, or you can do 4. You don't have to do them at all if you don't want to. This part is voluntarily if you want to do it a certain way. That marker is not my favorite. Super simple. You guys can go simpler, obviously, if you want. These are fun for the kids to do. And if you're teachers, these are easy, obviously. Now, you can use glitter glue or liquid pearl on that. And we're going to have to do a nose, if I can find a little bit of, and I have it here. I know I do. I have, that's kind of a yellow orange. And I used it on a project. So I'm going to do a little bitty nose. That's probably too big. That's probably better. That's tiny enough. They're really tiny. So you can leave that. Let me put that over. We got the teeny weeny nose. Where to go? We got one here, one here. Super easy. And of course, you can do a moon up here if you want. We can do that. If you have stickers, and I'm going to do some with stickers. Some things that you can clearly buy at the store on Fussy Cuttin'. If you want to know what Fussy Cuttin' is, for those who aren't familiar with that term, Fussy Cuttin' is when you're hand cutting. For those of you that have a Brother Scan and Cut or a Cricut, use SVG files. I will be doing more with that as well, but that's going to be separate. But fussy cutting is when you hand cut something. So if you want to know what that term is, that is exactly what it is. And I got to trim that little spot a little bit. You can put a round one in. You can put stickers in where you see Santa Claus. And I brought my stickers out to do. Okay, so we're going to glue all of this together real quick, and then that's going to be done. So I'm going to start with a little bit on the nose. Oops. It'll go off. We're going to put a little moon. We'll put the moon right there. So my little cheesy moon. I'll put it up here. Nothing fancy. And then the noses. I may have to pull my tweezers out for that if I can find my tweezers. I know I do. The tweezers most people use in scrapbooking are the ones that you squeeze in, they're open. They're a little different. Yeah, I'll show you here. Normal tweezers aren't like this. These are crafting tweezers. I actually prefer these. See if I can hold it down with the other finger. So we got the little nose on him. And this is just scrap paper I had within distance here. So again, it's a simple one. And the ribbon I will get to, or the twine. I am looking for my glitter glue now. Oh, it's right here. So I'm going to go in and glisten the snow caps a little bit. I'm just going to put it in here a minute. Put a little bit down here. But the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to go really fast. It doesn't have to be perfect. Unless you're OCD, which sometimes I can be. If I'm doing a custom card for somebody, then I am extremely OCD. If I'm shooting by the hip, which is what I'm doing, we'll put a little on the moon. I think it's starting to stick. So I need to find my, oh, my pen's still here. I'm hoping to get to 100 cards. Now, let's see how fast I can actually do that. Again, if you're doing a whole bunch of them, you can always pick one of these and do an assembly line. I'm one of those people who prefer to do not the same card, because my challenge is to do something different every time. The only time I do cards exactly the same way is by custom orders. Again, this is Studio G glitter. This is like $1 glitter. I don't know if the prices have gone up a little. And there, see, you can see the reason why I'm working my way down. Nothing fancy. And then I'm going to take the rest here. And I'm just going to use my finger and pull it in to where like this moon is just glistening down off of it. And see, there's another little card. That one is completed. Oh, wait. Forgot the bows. Almost forgot the bows. Where's the bows? Oh, E6000. Let me put those in. I think that's more the guy. That again, I like that one. Put a little more on for that one. Again, you can use hot glue if you're looking at bigger buttons. But again, you have to be careful because they will pop off. So I'm going to put the little bow on this one. And it will dry. You can just do a simple one. Pull that down. And then I was going to do this way. And just twist it a little bit. I may have to set something on it. I almost forgot the arms too. So looking at a brown. I'll do this. Super easy. Again, you can go simpler or not simpler. Trying to give you more of a challenge to do something else. Now that one's done. So now I've already done 3 cards. Now I'm going to work on a couple easier ones if you like to cut. So I'm going to pull up scraps completely for this one. I wanted to show you different ways of doing that one. And then there's going to be a couple more here that I show you very quickly. These are going to be a lot quicker, I promise. Those are a little more detailed. I'm going to get one of these from last year. This is, if you buy the card pieces, if you go and get the card pieces here, you'll be able to use them that way. And I can use this piece, kind of digging. Let's see, I got more pieces here. I got you guys, I got you. Depends on what I can find. I know what I've got in here because I pulled it off. And that's why I'm trying to find something. My scrap black. I have drawers full of scraps. That's what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for a bigger piece of that. I got that. Let's see what else I have. Kind of like that Joy to the World. I like that one better. Now, when you guys are looking at metallic paper, please be careful because it can get very, very, very expensive. So I have these. These are like the 12 by 12 paper that you can get for like $1 or $2. Just depends on what you're looking at. And I'm just pulling out some stuff that actually came from the same collection. That's why you'll see me pull. Or stuff that I added. Now, you can buy a book of paper. You can always go to a friend and say, let me have your scraps. And more than likely, they'll be like, they'll hesitate and then they'll end up giving it to you anyway. So, let me see which one of these cards. And you can get a pack of these. I actually am digging both of these top two. So, we're going to do those. So, I'm not doing this one. And I can do another one of those later because I have both of those in duplicates. But I am pretty sure that I can make these pretty quick. This one's a duplicate. But I'll make more of those later. I'm going to stick those over because we're going to trim these. Now, if you have scissors, of course, use scissors. I may be able to do all 4 of them. And we're going to cut because this one has the white here. And I'm going to have to get a cord. I have a cord. Let me pull it. Guys, you guys are dying on me. Don't you die on me. Let me charge you here. I'm going to charge you. If I don't charge you, you're going to die on me. Alright. Pull the cord closer. Okay. Oh, see? Let me pull this around. I should pull that on the tie a little bit. I don't get a whole lot of choices, and I don't want to pull out my tripod. Okay. So you're going to trim it because at this end here, it's white. So you can cut that totally off and you should see if you have anything left, trim it again. So we have this card and that card. And these are a lot quicker. So I'm trying to give you all a variety. And I actually did it pretty well. Pretty happy about that. Now, sometimes when you have cards like this, I actually go by the actual pieces here that are already sized. I mean, you could always trim them down, but this is where some of my cards become different sizes. So, I mean, that's just me. I mean, I can go a lot of different ways. Now, I'm going to trim up my table here. I'm telling you, you should see my floor. You should have seen it at Halloween. So I really like this one together. I really, really did. So I'm actually going to see the colors in it. I'm going to leave the gold, but I'm going to go and pull that black out. And this may be smaller, it may be bigger. And if you're not aware of what you're doing, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to show you very quickly how to make a quick card. So we have the card, you have the paper, you can even use a 12 by 12. And just go with the flow on that. So I'm going to go by that, eyeball it, because this is just a scrap. You can always just put it on a big piece, put it in a corner, and it'll cut. I go in here. So that's kind of, you can see where I use the black, it makes it pop a little bit more. Now, if you're unsure about sizing, you can always measure this way. I like this size because I'm pretty sure that this is more, pretty sure that it's better. So if you're wondering about my mat, if you guys have never seen the mats, these are self-healing mats. Each one of these little squares is 1/4 of an inch. Each one of the bigger squares an actual inch. So we can go in and I'll pull it up here just enough for you guys can see, because I'm actually going to go this way and give again 1/4 of an inch. So that's going to put me right here. So if you don't have a cutting board, I'm going to tell you to mark it right here. You just mark it at the corner here. Okay, so I know by looking at this, if I go to the corner, and let me pull the ruler if you don't want to go down to the corner, especially when I'm working with you guys. So we know that that is 4 1/4. So if I'm doing 4 1/4, it's going to have to be 8 1/2. So we're going to pop this open. See, you guys think that I'm not catching up. I told you I was going to do some different ones. So I'm going to go to 8 1/2 right here. And go very quickly here. These are super simple cards. Where'd it go? Here it is. So I know that it's going to fit this way. So again, if you don't know what you're going to do, that's just fine. Again, work with what you got if you're doing a lot of cards at one time. And I'm going to go, and that was with my finger. I'm going to go back with a bone folder and or with a, you can see where that's coming together right there. And if you, like I said, if you don't want to measure too terribly much, you can always go in and do what I just did. These are quick, simple. Obviously, you want to write with black ink on the inside to coordinate. Blue won't match it. And I like this side better because I like to cut more on the right. I'm going to do some fun ones with you guys. Do a quick eyeballing. And if you want to put a little glitter glue, again, I'm going to do gold because it's got gold on it. Now you can just do the corner. I need to use my pen again. My hair pen. Again, this is why you keep something like this around. You can use a paper clip, but I don't recommend it. It's going to pop the hole open too much and then get too sticky. So if you have brads, you can do brads. You just got to be careful when you're doing, because the stack will knock down or slide over, or it could be a dry chunk. I mean, if you're not sure, just go ahead and use a scrap piece of paper. See, this one is getting dry on the inside, so I need to take my hairpin to it. And this one, like I said, this one's super easy too. You guys thought that I was going to spend all that time on cards, right? No, I just wanted to start with some extras. So that's all I have to do. And guys, this one to me is done. And I'm going to do some more very quickly. So I think I've got 3 or 4. I don't know how many cards right now. So that one's done. So I can show you real quick. That one is done. I'll have to post a picture of it. So that's 1, 2, 3. And I have 4 cards here. So that one's super easy. Moving on, because I have all these scraps. I'm going to save these because you guys are going to see me make some tags down the line. I'll do a video of tags with scraps. Let's see what I can do with this. This is my gold. I am very anal about my metallic paper because I don't like to give it up. It gets very expensive, up to $2 a sheet. So I didn't like that one right now. I do like this one. So because that's my scrap paper, I'm just trying to make sure it's even. And when you use metallic paper, it can get really hard to lay down on it. So I'm kind of digging that. What do you guys think? You like it? We're going to do it with that one. So again, this is eyeballing it. Now, if you're using metallic, you're going to see what I do. Metallic glitter glue. I usually use glossy, but I don't know where my glossy accents by Ranger. Don't use regular glue when it comes to that type of paper. It will not hold. Just a little warning. Now you can try hot glue, but I still cannot guarantee it. So if you guys want to swap cards, I actually have a card swap getting ready to happen. It's still sign-ups on the Facebook page. This is my 6th annual card swap. Sign up on the page, and then you will get a secret, and we will do 2020 questions, and then you guys will be able to ask questions without your secret knowing. So it's 2 cards per person, and then that you're going to make duplicates. One that you're going to sign over to your part, and the other one you're going to make blank. Keep blank on the inside so that they can use it. See, all working out. so they can use it for their Christmas. I kind of like the fact that maybe put some red in there. I have some red here. Where's your at? I don't know. Let's see. No, don't like it. Nope, nope, nope. So I'm just going to use the green because I have a bunch of it. So I'm going to, and again, getting the idea here. If you don't know and you can't measure, this is super easy. I told you I could teach simpler cards. This is stuff anybody can do. Some harder, some easier. And I'm going to flip it because, again, I like the other side. And when you're dealing with squares, I really hate them. But this one kind of works out. I'm going to cut off this bottom one right here. I'm going to cut that bottom one off right here. See if I can pull it down a little better this way. Sorry, guys. Now I'm going to go super quick. And again, if you're using lines like this, it can get very difficult to get right. And this actually is from the same collection. So if you're wondering, we're going to trim it right here. Try to keep that gold line. Trim a little bit more. Okay, so I can be a little more anal. Trim this side just a little bit. So there is a card right there. Super simple. It's already got that on it. But again, I'm kind of anal. I really do like glitter glue and glitz, especially Christmas. I don't care if you're a guy. Glitter. You guys know if you ever swap with me, I'm really, really into glitter, especially this color. And I love the diamond one and all the other ones from Ranger. I have a box full. So, in my opinion, that one is done. So that's another card. I told you I'm going to try to get in as many cards as I can. So how many cards is that? 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. That makes 5 cards down. Let's see how many more easy ones that I can pop into here for you guys. So that this is the same collection. Let's do something a bit different. I need, we'll see how big this is. Let's measure. Let's go with the ruler. Let's measure what this is. So that's 4.5 by, perfect, like 4.5 by 5.5. That'll work. 4.5 by 5.5. And I guess we'll go this direction. This is going to be a little fun. Let's go this direction. I kind of like that direction better. Super, super easy. And I mean super. Now this is the straight side. I actually have it double-sided because I used it for a different project. And I'm going to cut that edge. Cut this edge off. Cut that non-straight edge. Flip that off. And then I'm going to take this side, since now I know that side because I have a hole at the top, which is typical. And I'm just going to do a full inch. Make it a little bit easier for everybody to understand. Going to be easy, easy peasy. So now I have a strip of 1 inch. And then I'm going to see what I could do for another strip of the inch. I'm going to go with, you guys would crack up laughing how much I'm anal about saving my paper. Digging this again. And because I have this and I haven't used it, let's go and use 1 inch off of that. Doesn't matter on the length. You guys are going to see what I'm doing. Again, super duper easy. There's 1 inch. Should be. That's 1 inch. I'm trying to color coordinate just a little itty bitty bit. I'm going to go, I don't want to cut all of this at 1 inch, which is difficult, but you know. Told you I'm really anal about my paper, but it is scrap. Screw it. Okay, another inch. I gotta clean my cutting board with the clean it stuff. Orange stuff. I got another inch scrap. So we have 2 of those. Here's some scrap here. And I like the plaid here, so I'm going to actually cut off one part of the plaid. Let me trim that a little bit better because I can see the white. Okay, and then I'm going to trim this part of the plaid. So I have an inch here. And then, of course, I have this one here. And I want to get as much as the gold as I can. So let's flip it around. This, again, is all from the same collection. If you want to get a book and you can collect it. I'm not always a big fan of all the pieces. Sometimes I'll just sell the paper. Okay, so I have 4 different strips here. And is that the only one I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I think so. And it's alright. We don't have to have it that much. Now, when in doubt, it's okay. Because you don't have to worry about a lot of things. You're going to see me just do stupid little stuff. Or we're going to make banners. So we have one. Doesn't have to be perfect. I want to keep the snowflake here. Quick little fussy cut. Trim that up right there. Just do the banner part at the bottom. We will get to the rest of it. Kind of want to keep the birdies. I want to keep at least one birdie. I used to do swaps with people. I haven't done them in a long time. Okay. I don't want to waste the paper. So. Alright, so we have, 4 with banner pieces already done. Okay, so we're going to do, very simply, we're going to tape, and just randomly tape. Eyeball it. Obviously, this one's going to be lower or shorter. I don't want to always go that same direction. We're going to go, okay. See if they all fit on it. If not, I just have strips. Okay, this is shooting by the hip, guys, with scraps. A lot of people like when I do this. This one. Yeah. Where's my gold one? Where'd you go hiding at? I think this is it. Yep. Oh, I didn't trim him yet. I'll put him right there. I think, I don't know, I kind of like that one in the middle, but I think snowflake looks more appropriate. Again, if you don't have tape, use just regular glue. I suggest clear glue. And again, guys, it does not have to be perfect. And that's what you'll hear me say all the time, especially when you shoot by the hip. Like this one kind of down here-ish. Again, this is just me randomly doing this. No rhyme, no reason. Of course, I start getting into no rhyme, no reason, then I start picking up on going, wait, nope. Alright, so we're going to leave that alone at the top because I'm going to show you what I'm referring to. So we have this white here. It's already an exact inch because I had it already done. I always have a bunch of them. So this is an exact inch. We're just going to put it down, say right here. And then I have some ribbon. Let's see which one I want to use. I don't know if I want to use that. Kind of digging that, but that might be too busy. There's no green on it. Can't use that one. You know what? I have a sticker. This works even better. Now I happen to have this sticker, and I believe this is EK. See, I told you we're going to start using stickers. And I'm going to go right here and here in a second because I want to trim off the rest. Now when you get to the sides and the back like this, and I could tell you so that you have those great edges, I would just tell you to cut it at the top here. And then glue or tape. I actually use permanent tape. I do not do repositionable. Only because when I make a project and I invest that kind of money and time, I will not use something that will come apart. Because if I'm not measuring twice and cutting once, then again, you guys don't necessarily see me do that, right? Only because I like irregular shape. I am a, let's see, I love painting abstract. I don't like it in my house, but I do love painting it. I had 2 in a museum when I was a kid. One when I was 5 and one when I was 11. Okay, so you have that over edge, which I kind of like because it's like hanging over it. And I can put the ribbon to it if you like. I think I may, just because I think it might do an extra special little piece. Now, if you guys are getting into a group and everybody's wanting to do cards, like you and your friends want to sit down and sit and drink, I would say each one of you just pick up some pieces. Look through your house, because I guarantee you I can go through your house and show you what you have in your house that you can already start making a scrapbooking box. And if you have kids, I highly recommend that you slowly pick up pieces. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think we said that this was going to do a little ribbon, give it that little extra touch. Now when it gets to thinner ribbon, you're going to have to be careful. You're going to want to do something extra to hold it down. Glossy accents will. This one, I believe, is going to be my last card because my husband is coming home. And I don't have any lunch. Well, my lunch is my dinner. Of course, I don't. I'll snack. Maybe have a sandwich later in the evening. So we have that. Now, what would pop that? Girls, guys, I think white will pop that. You can always put another color as abstract. I think white will do very well. And again, if you guys do not want to fully measure, we do know that this is 4.5. Remember 4.5. 4.5 and 5.5. So we need 5 long. See? 5 long. If I'm right, 5 long. I'll do 5 long, just in case. See, if you're ever wondering, if you're not sure, it's okay. We wing it. I like to wing it. Okay, so we have that. And again, wing it. Just be careful when you wing it. We can always do like Miley Cyrus, where she did chicken wings or whatever it was last year, or the year before on The Voice. Her memes are funny this year. She's a cheerleading mom. I have a couple ideas who's going to win. Now again, your card, if you're doing it to this side, you can measure. If you're not used to measuring, it's okay. Now see, here's the thing. We know, and if you have a scoreboard, you can figure this out. But if you look right here, you'll see the crease right there. Now you're going to go to the other side and do the same. Okay, now you fit meet in the middle. And then you can either fold that over, and we're going to get into a little bit more fancier designs yet. You're going to be surprised how many of these easy cards anybody can do. And I do truly mean that. Now look at that. Look how easy this card was. We're going to go a little higher because we want to see the bands. And go lower or more of the bands. River band. And there's another one done. What do you think? Came out pretty cute, right? So I think that's 7 cards. I think I'm going to stop there for today, and I'm going to pull them all up so you guys can see those, and I'll clean up my mess later, way later. Let me pull the other cards so you can see all of them at one time. And I just got my finger in glitter glue. That's why I have to be careful. That's 2, 3. I don't know if I remember them in order. I might. 4. I know I did more than that, right? No, that's a layout. That one's on the table, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 6, I guess. If I'm missing one, let me know, because I swear I did another one. We'll see. This one's got glitter glue on it. Let me check one more time, and then you guys can get tired of me. I know a lot of people like to do them like boom, 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 10 minutes and cards like that, and they like to fast forward. Me personally, I don't like to do that. So the last card this is the card that we just did, and then we did this card. Let me pull all this back. So we did that one and that one. Let's start in the order that I made them. How about that? Be a lot easier. This is the first card that we did. Here is the second card that we did, a little fancier. This was the third card. Okay. And this was the fourth. If you can all see those, I'm going to pull them up a little more. Pull this down. Pull it over. You guys are diddy-diddy-double-D with me. Okay, so first, second, third. Okay. Fourth. Oh, that's fourth. Fifth. 6 cards. I know it's a long time, and I'm sorry. I swear to God, there's another one. I do have a layout that I did right before, but I think that was it. That was it for now. Again, if you guys have, I'll teach the easel card, and I have a video on it, but it's super easy. But those cards I just made for Christmas, and I'll be doing a lot more if you guys want to follow me. So if you want to stick with me, stick with me. If you don't, you don't have to. If you like this and you want to see a lot more, be sure to write or type something up in the bottom and let me know what you want to see. And I'll see you next Wednesday live here on YouTube at 11 o'clock Eastern time. Eastern AM. Every Wednesday for the next 7, well, the next 6, and 6 more at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's going to be it for now, guys. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to learn.